Hi, I'm Chris Miglino with Sequire Spotlight. I am here with Joe LaRosa with LaRosa Holdings Corp. How you doing, Joe?
Pretty good. How about you?
You're really good. Thanks for joining us today. I appreciate it. All right, so Joe has a really interesting company. You may have seen in the news this lawsuit about outrageous commissions that are happening and the price of commissions that, I don't know the total details of this lawsuit that happened, but something happened with the national realtors where there's pressure on commissions, right?
Yeah, so actually a few years back, there was a lawsuit that went into effect, and now there's been multiple copycat lawsuits since then. NAR, National Association of Realtors, just had a big settlement about 2 weeks ago. Which is really going to start to change now how buyers agents are actually going to be compensated on a transaction. So obviously there's a lot of concern and uncertainty in regards to how much downward pressure our realtor is going to see now on the buyer side with their commissions. So our model is very unique. We've been a very disruptive business model since day one, since we offer 100% commission. So we're going to be able to provide a lot of flexibility now towards agents once this starts to kind of get into full effect.
So 100% commission. So the agents control their own, really it's eat what you kill in that business, right? So, but now they get to keep everything. Now, when they're out there, are they under your brand? Is it or are they sub brands underneath? Like, does a realtor, are they able to open up their own brand and use you as the broker? How does it work?
Yeah, no, great question. So we're located nationwide, multiple states right now, primarily based in Florida. But however, our agents do have the ability to really kind of co-brand and be able to market themselves. We've actually have had smaller brokerages actually roll into LaRosa. So, for example, it would be ABC Team powered by LaRosa. So pretty much everywhere across the United States where we do have any kind of presence, it's always the LaRosa brand in the forefront with any other team or any kind of co-brand kind of side by side.
Okay, so what is zero commission? So how do you make the money?
That's a great question. I get asked that question all the time. So we are really defining what it is to be agent-centric in the real estate space. So agent-centric means that we want to offer as much value to the agent. So we charge a monthly subscription, a transaction fee, flat fee, and then an annual fee. So it's off of volume. It's how we make our money. But, of course, we've also built in ancillary services around our core business, which is LaRosa Realty. So we have a title insurance company, mortgage brokerage, homeowners insurance. We have a coaching company. We have a commercial real estate, property management. So all of these now ancillary services have created a kind of multiple streams of revenue now coming into LaRosa Holdings.
That's great. And so a lot of recurring revenue then. Now, when the agents pay a monthly fee to be part of it, and then they pay a per transaction fee.
And that's where we're creating flexibility now for agents because, again, going back to the NAR settlement. So a lot of these traditional brokers they may charge a 60, 40, 70, 30% split. So now the agent, if they're going to see any downward pressure, maybe where they were going before and getting 3%, maybe now they only get 2% or 1.5% or even 1%. So now they still have to give up a good chunk of that commission back into the brokerage. With our model, they're just giving a flat fee back to us. So it gives them a lot more flexibility. And just like what we've seen now over the last couple of years, where there's been a slowdown in real estate transactions, obviously because of the interest rates and everything else that's been going on in the market, we've seen agents now want to find a way to keep more of their commission. So that's what we're kind of anticipating now with potentially the outcome of this NAR settlement.
And, okay, they have to pay a $75 fee a month to be part of it. So that proves that they're actually engaged.
They're committed, yeah. There's a lot of brokerages that will have, 100%, no monthly fee, and kind of you get what you pay for. So we want to see, obviously, some commitment from the agents. Now, they get value from that $75. They're getting, obviously, a full suite of technology with marketing tools, education, support. So we offer them a lot more than what they would typically get at your traditional brokerage.
And how did this start? Like, what was your business like before this? Where you were just a broker and you were like, look, I could do this better?
So, I actually have been involved in real estate development for many years prior to launching LaRosa Realty. And so I actually helped another real estate brand kind of launch their brand nationwide. And as I was telling somebody this the other day, it was really on the job learning for me, understanding what were the needs of brokers and realtors. And back in 2011, I saw the trend of this 100% concept starting to kind of gain momentum. And so I wanted to become the Netflix of real estate. I wanted to change the industry for the better, and I wanted to find a way to deliver on offering 100%, but with that full suite of technology, support, education, the tools that agents need to be able to be successful in today's market.
Now, what is it going to take to scale this nationwide, right? Because you have to get licensed in each state, I would imagine, right?
So what we're doing now is ever since the NAR settlement, literally the phone has been ringing off the hook, emails, text messages. There's a lot of opportunities now on the M&A side. So where, let's just say, for example, we go into the state of Tennessee, I don't need to myself personally become the broker of record in Tennessee. We're finding partners in these new states that are now kind of aligning forces with us. They're now the broker of record, and then we're delivering basically all of the goods and resources and tools.
And how does the economics of that situation work? How does that, because you're getting paid the $500 per transaction and the $75 a month. How do you then split that with somebody in another market?
So a couple of different scenarios, for example. So what we've been doing on the M&A side is really either acquiring 100% of an entity. Let's just say you have ABC Brokerage in Tennessee again. The broker is John Smith. So we would basically go in there and possibly either acquire 100% of their brokerage, and then we would obviously then put John Smith into an employment agreement as the broker of record so that we could have obviously that qualifying and managing broker. And in some cases, we've only been acquiring 51% of the brokerage. So giving John Smith, again, the opportunity to say, now in the game, be a partner with a publicly traded company and allow him the opportunity now to grow his company alongside us.
And what's your vision of the growth across the country? How long does it take you to, cover the entire, or at least the major markets in the United States?
Yes, that's a great question. So we're not looking to go everywhere, right? It's got to make sense for us. The way our model works, it's off of volume. So we want to go to places where there's high transaction count, high agent count. So really, we're going wherever it just makes sense for us right now. So we have conversations now with folks in multiple states. So right now we're located in Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, New York, California, and Puerto Rico. Just went into Texas back in January, so we're very excited about that. So we have now some other states that we're talking to folks over there too as well. And one thing, kind of one step at a time, and we'll see where it takes us.
Well, this is, I love businesses that disrupt a market, and this is definitely doing. I mean, I'm going to sell my house soon. You got to put me in touch with the. I'm selling the house and moving to Puerto Rico, so you can have me on. You can have me on two sides of the transaction. So and does it work the same way for the buyer? The buyer, like if I'm going to buy a house,
right,
and I hire one of your reps,
right.
Is my commission $500 for that rep, or how do they charge?
So great question again. So this is really going to come out to this kind of the outcome of the NAR settlement. So right now, traditionally, sellers have been paying for the commission that goes to a cooperating agent, to a buyer's agent. So right now, the uncertainty is, well, is that commission going to be still paid by the seller? I believe that it is. I believe there's going to be possibly some downward pressure on that commission amount. What's going to happen now with the settlement is not going to be disclosed on the MLS anymore. So it's going to be kind of, basically off MLS. So the buyers typically, as of today, are not paying for commissions. We'll see what happens down the road.
But in your scenario, the buyer could pay the commission.
The buyer could, absolutely. So the way...
Because it's $500, who cares?
But $500 is the actual transaction fee back into the brokerage. The realtor themselves are going to be able to obviously receive a little bit more. So maybe that's 1% of the total sales price, 1.5%, 2%. So what we're just getting from that commission is only $500.
Okay, so the fee that the broker is paying you is $500, but they might be charging, they kind of get to determine the price that they're charging.
Absolutely. So like as of today, for example, a buyer's agent or even a listing agent can make $15,000, $20,000, $25,000 in a commission from a sale. We're collecting $495, and they're going to be able to keep the rest.
Right, so you're attracting a lot of those, but that will put downward pressure on the commissions themselves, because they'll be willing to cut their commission in half day one because they're not giving half away.
Exactly why we feel like we're at the right place at the right time. So even over the last couple of years, when we've seen transaction count drop, maybe an average agent maybe closed 12 transactions last year, now or maybe 12 in 22, and then last year in 23 they only closed maybe 8 or 9. So now they want to go to a place where they can keep more of their commission. So that's why we've been able to attract more agents in this down market. So with the outcome of what's expected from this settlement, if there is that downward pressure, agents are going to look to us as an opportunity to be able to keep more of their commission if they have to give up more or if they're getting paid less.
So let's talk about the numbers real quick.
Sure.
Give us a sense of year-over-year performance. How's that been going? And where do you see it going from here?
So in our business model, when we went public in October, so we had actually franchised the Rosa brand back in 2018 and 19. So we basically fragmented. So we have about 2,500 agents right now across the country.
It's a lot of agents.
It is. But we're looking to obviously grow more now, and there's opportunity for us to really expand that number. But when we went public back in October of 23, we only had about 500 of those agents directly underneath the corporate umbrella. The other agents, of the 2,000, were actually agents of our franchisees. So what's very unique about us is that we're in the process right now. Our M&A plan for 24 is we're actually reacquiring our franchisees. So I'll give you an example. So at the closing of our IPO, our projected top-line revenue going forward was about $26 million. We did 2 acquisitions immediately at the IPO, and we actually then jumped that to close to $45 million. I've now closed on 7 more of our franchisees. We've now reacquired them back into the holding company. So we're right now somewhere north of about $60 million projected moving forward. The plan is, we've been putting this out there in multiple press releases, as we continue to acquire our own franchisees of La Rosa, we'll be at around $100 million as we exit 24. In addition to that, obviously, we're acquiring other ancillary services. So our title insurance company, mortgage brokerage, those businesses were not part of our holding company when we went public. We're looking to acquire those now here at some point this year.
How's that working? Is that actually working? You're generating that revenue, or is it converting? Like, use our title insurance company, use our insurance.
Sure.
Everything that you have, is it converting?
So we would love to be able to say we're at 100%, right? When it comes to our capture rate. In all reality, we're probably around 30% from the capture rate. We want to give agents the flexibility, right? They've already established relationships maybe in the market.
They get a lot of business from people.
Right. So we don't, obviously, we can't restrict them. But we just make it available to them. And obviously, all of our ancillary services, we're going to provide as much resources as possible to any of the La Rosa agents. So that's where it typically will make sense for an agent to want to utilize any one of our services.
So, Joe, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate you coming here today and spent some time with us. So, La Rosa Holding Companies, it's on the NASDAQ under symbol LRHC. And check it out. And if you're going to be selling your house, these are the guys to be talking to. Look them up. Thanks, Joe.
Thank you. Appreciate it.